we're going to go quickly through who we are and why we're doing that. 2 geos on the board. It might be a bit rich, but for exploration, you need good opinion. Stephen Biggins doesn't necessarily need introduction. He's done quite a lot of very successful stories recently in the lithium space. But before that, like a lot of us geologists, he was a gold bug and has been nurturing projects for the last few years. Those projects are now going into Crown Metals, which we are trying to bring to ASX in the next few weeks. Myself, I'm an exploration geo. I've been roaming Australia. I did roam Australia for 15 years. I spent a bit of time in capital markets trying to understand the mechanics on how you get money for those projects, or how difficult it can be to get money at some stages. And of course came back in the industry because it's harder, but it's a lot more fun on that side, and discoveries are so much more satisfying. And well, of course, I mean, you put 2 geos on the board, you need an accountant to keep us on our toes, because otherwise we might actually go a little over budget. Now, of course, bringing an exploration company and bringing a new gold exploration company to ASX, you can't do anything and everything, especially in the current environment. So you need to have projects where the early work has been done. So projects are reasonably advanced. There's a little bit of drilling, pretty interesting. There's all the smoke and all the sniffs, everything's there. So all it needs is a bit of drilling, is a bit of exploration, is a bit of more work, but the potential is there. And we don't have to go and scour hundreds of square kilometers to go and find something. Gold and battery metals, well, it's been mentioned before, it's all the same rocks, it's all the same greenstones, it's all the same mineral systems. You have one, there's usually another one coming through. Archean greenstone belts, you find lithium and gold together. In South Australia, where we are, you do find that rare earth clays are on top of every system that's being drilled. So it's no surprise. If you have to drill through it to get to your main target, you might as well take it. As I mentioned before, the boards had exploration success, shareholders value success. We believe we can replicate it and do it again, and we're going to try. Now, where are we? Australia. My last experience, I spent 2.5 years in Quebec. It's great, but it is moose pasture. They call horse flies over there because they're the size of a horse, not because they go on horses. So South Australia sounded very appealing. When I got introduced to those projects, I definitely wanted a slice of it and a piece of it. Can you go and explore for gold without talking about Western Australia? I don't know. I started my Australian life in Sydney, but I'm now based in Perth. So somehow there's always a bit of a Western Australian project somewhere in the gold company. Anyway, so we are in the Golden Craton, 3 projects there. Our flagship project, Tunkillia North, is a prime target, large targets. All the early work has been done. Surface anomalies, subsurface anomalies, auger drilling is positive, and no drilling has ever been done. Nucala Hill is on the other side of the Tunkillia of Barton Gold. You'll hear about Barton later. We're on both sides of their Tunkillia deposit, along strike to the north, along strike to the south. And Sky Project a bit further to the north, nearer to Challenger, and Crown, 40 kilometers outside Kalgoorlie, in the middle of multiple resources and near a lot of plants. Getting a little bit closer, apologies. The 2 projects to the south are pretty much lined up on the same shear zone as Tunkillia, and we are basically along strike there, covering the same type of geology and the same type of anomalies. Sky further to the north there is just next door to Goldbore, Aurora Tank. They're names you've heard before. There's high-grade gold there. Very little exploration, very little modern exploration. So time to go there and find more. The Crown project there, when I'm saying it's in the middle of the action, 40 kilometers from Kalgoorlie, there's plenty of processing facility around. There are several resources around. You were talking about consolidation earlier on. There might be something happening at some stage in that part of the world. Plenty of gold, plenty of plants, just need to marry them all. Now, let's get a little bit closer to those projects and why we went there and why we think that despite the current market, it's a good idea to go there. Tunkillia North there, this is the surface anomalies, auger drilling, shallow auger drilling, a little bit of air core drilling. The southern part of it, Tunkillia, the existing 1.2 million ounces there that Barton has next door, and surface and subsurface anomalies that led to that discovery. Now, when Helix was discovering Tunkillia, Mount Isa Mines was identifying Tunkillia North there. Mount Isa Mines was not a gold explorer. A couple of years later, they were not Mount Isa Mines anymore either. And that was probably one of the last programs in the region. Since then, it's been there. It's sitting there. Now, the Yalbrinda shear zone goes north-south. The Yerda shear zone goes east-west. They meet together right under all those purple dots there. I mean, I'm just a dumb geologist, but I just want to go and see what's underneath there. It all looks good. On the other side of Tunkillia, Ngakala Hill project, same deal, a bit of work done in the late 90s. Surface work has been done, a bit of air core drilling, a couple of RC drill holes, 30 meters at a gram, 30 meters at half a gram, and just dropped by the base metal explorers who own them. That's one of the prospects at Ngakala Hill, She Oak. You can see how sparse the drilling is, and that's the only section that has ever been drilled. So, I mean, the exploration guy I am just says we need to go there and find more. There is more there. There has to be more there. Bimba, same deal, along the same shear zone. I'm not going to bore you too much with geology there. Some of you will like it, but a lot of you won't. So, showing on geophysics, it actually shows better. Those large shear zones going north-south, the two sort of the two branches of the Yalbrinda shear zone meeting with the Yerda shear zone. There at the intersection is a dislocated piece of greenstone belt. I like dislocated pieces of greenstone belts. I like large structures and good soils anomalies on top of them. It's usually a good sign. Going to Western Australia, same deal. Why are we there? Well, because there is gold everywhere in the same geology, and that this part of the world has barely been drilled. A couple of shallow air core holes, a couple of shallow RAB holes, and nothing else. So there's 700,000 ounces of resources around us. There's 4 mills within 40 kilometers. Anything you find over there can be monetized and can just generate value. You can see how sparse the surface work is, and that's all that has been done there. The Sky project there, as I said before, near Aurora Tank, near Golf Bore, the geology is similar. Recently people have been just assaying what used to be waste and spoils that nobody cared about. That 40 meters of clay on top of what you were looking for. There's obviously rare earth in there. A few of the neighbors have found rare earth there. We'll see what happens with that. But we're still happy to drill through it and assay for them. And because we don't have any data on stock price and everything yet, this is the offer. This is what we are trying to achieve. Raising, between $5 and $7 million. Hedley was talking about value before. The whole idea, I believe, the secret is to have something that's not too expensive. Starting off low, getting exposure to success is the key to everybody enjoying what we're doing. You're most welcome to come along on the ride. We're finishing the prospectus. We should be ready in the next few weeks. And as soon as we get a positive sign from the gold markets, we're out there. Timeline, planning on listing before the end of the year. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty happy to do that. I like swimming against the flow, And after all, the harder the battle and the sweeter the taste of victory at the end. So doing a gold doing a gold float now is probably going to be very satisfying in the near future.